My name's Callum and I officiated an 11-a-side game in training today. After reffing the game, I received feedback from the spectators and they give me some strengths and weaknesses and if I made inaccurate or unsafe decisions. My strengths were, from the spectators, I kept up with the pace of the game well, and this was from when the certain team was attacking to when defending and counter-attacking. I managed to keep up the game and give the right decisions. I controlled the game well and kept giving the right decisions and dealing with players that needed to be dealt with. An example of me controlling the game well was when a tackle was made. It was quite a bad tackle, but then I had players coming around me, surrounding me, asking for bookings or to deal with it properly, sending offs, free kick, penalty, that type of thing. So the spectators said that I dealt with that well and give the correct decision that way. They also said that I had some improvements, and an improvement was my communication, and this was poor because I wasn't really very loud and wasn't very clear in what I was giving. An example of this was when I was given a free kick, I wasn't talking to the opposing team to tell them to move back a couple of yards if they had a wall, to put the ball in the correct place, say on my whistle, or wait till the whistle's blown to do it. So it was things like that. Also, they gave me an improvement of my hand signals. I didn't really use them in pointing out which way I was giving the free kick, who I was giving the free kick to, if it was play on, letting the game flow a bit more, because as they can't hear me as they're a distance away, my hand signals needed to be clear so they understood and they knew what I was giving and why I was giving it. They also said that during the game I didn't make an incorrect decision, there weren't inaccurate decisions, and my decisions were correct throughout. This was positive because it meant that I knew what I was doing and I dealt with the game well. The unsafe decisions, I didn't make an unsafe decision, and no tackles were made that were causing harm to other players, and there was all fair challenges. The timing was a little bit off, which made them free kicks, and which may have swayed me to make a certain decision. I also gave feedback for myself, and which I was pleased with and what I found difficult. The things that I felt that I did well was the way I controlled the game. I made the game fair for both teams and kept the game flowing, using the advantage to allow teams to carry on attacking or keep possession of the ball to try and create chances while they had the ball. I found dealing with certain situations difficult because I had to make a quick decision on the spot. So it was I had to try and make the correct decision and make the decision as accurate as I possibly could to make the game fair. But it was quite hard because after running up and down the pitch trying to keep up with the game, it was hard because the challenges was coming in. I can't see everything because I'm looking at I'm looking at the ball and focusing where the ball is. I wasn't really focusing on the players around it and if there was any infringements were made and that type of thing. And then in the future, I've listed things that I could improve and why I could improve them. To improve my refereeing skills, I'd take my qualifications, as I haven't got any qualifications currently. If I do take them, so I'd take my level 1 refereeing courses and level 2s after that, which would then make me progress into being a better coach, a better ref, and making sure that I have a better understanding and knowledge of the game. Refereeing regularly, I'll be doing this in when I go to training and asking my coaches whether I can when we have 11-a-side, 5-a-side, 7-a-side games, if I could just ref more and try and be improve on my weaknesses that I had, to improve my communication a bit more to allow the spectators or the players to understand what I'm actually doing. Another one was observing other referees in Sunday League, whether it's at the games that I play myself. So doing this, I could watch more games on the television and see like the way a referee will deal with certain situations and certain free kicks, or if I went to a Sunday league game and just seeing how the ref will cope and analyse, like pick out certain points from their performances and try and use them to my advantage when I go and ref. Things like as communication skills was like I needed improving. I could work on this, like doing presentation workshops and speaking more in class or in training to be more vocal, as then I'll have the confidence when I'm on the pitch and to talk to players, tell them why, tell them what they need to do, tell them what to stop, and also have confidence in the decisions that I make, and like rather than being like skeptical of whether I've made the right decision, have confidence in that decision, and if it was wrong, it was wrong, and that can be analysed at the end of the game for me to improve the next time I do this. Things that could maybe prevent me from improving would be having like the lack of time, or that like due to work or educational commitments, and this will set me back because they could be more important for me in the future rather than refereeing a training game, which may, because if I have work it provides, if I have educational commitments it can set me further in the future, whereas if I was refereeing as a main priority over them things, it could set me back a little bit more. Also, not being able to afford the refereeing courses, and this links with the other one, because if I'm not going to work, then I won't be able to afford the courses that are provided there. And without being at college as well, I won't really know if there was any refereeing courses or things that I could do to improve my refereeing skills. And being at college to point you in the right directions and put you on the right courses to progress. Having a lack of support from my family could prevent my improvements as a ref, because having their backing would motivate me more, because I know that they're supporting me and they know that they want the best for what I'm doing. Other things like barriers and other barriers that there is was that I need to find someone who'll sponsor me or help me fund the courses that are there if ever I was struggling to do this. And this could come from like my family, my friends, talking to like the main people at my college and see if they will be able to fund what I want to do in order for me to improve and be qualified in refereeing. Things like inviting my family as well to watch me play football, and talking to my coaches and my teachers to see how I'm doing in class, in training, in my matches. This will be a big help, because it shows that they care and they want me to improve. And if I have got improvements, they can set me in the right way into achieving them improvements and achieving the goals that I'll be setting to make myself improve. As it was my first time refereeing an 11-a-side game in training, my refereeing skills aren't really that comparable to a Premier League referee, as because I don't really have I don't have the knowledge, the understanding, or like the communication that they have with the players, and like, so if I was to compare myself to them, it wouldn't really be ideal, because they're professional and they're at the top of their jobs and their profession. And the way that a referee would do is they can like swap and interchange from being a referee, so being the main one in the game, to being a fourth official and supporting the referee, or being a linesman, as they are trained in all areas, so they can help out and be there as and when they're needed if other referees drop out, if other referees pick up injuries, to keep up with the pace of the game. They're there to fill in and do a job that way. And as we're comparing to Premiership referees, there's an example that I've got of good decision and bad decisions in the top flight of the football. So, in the game for Arsenal and Chelsea, Andre Mariner, who was the referee, sent off Kieran Gibbs for a handball in the box, whereas the actual offender of that was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So because the referee either wasn't paying much attention to the game and to that specific challenge or infringement to the game, he was then sent off. He then sent off the wrong player, despite the arguments from the player who actually done the challenge and was in the wrong. He said, "Look, it was me that done it," but the referee stuck to his decision and still went ahead with the sending off the wrong player. That eventually got overturned and the sending off was took off from the player. Good examples would be like referees making good decisions. So like Michael Oliver in the Premier League as well is the youngest referee there is there, but he's been shown over the past couple of seasons. He's probably one of the best because the tackles that he's saw and the challenges that have been in the game that he's been refereeing, he's making the good decisions on giving the right free kick, penalty, corner, offside. He's been giving the right decisions throughout the whole game and stayed consistent throughout it.